Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Juggernaut, and stop killing video games. Well, not you specifically, but that's the topic of today's video. And, well, a couple of things before we begin. This video comes right after the previous channel update that I did where I was talking about my health situation, which is not terrific. I'm having spine trouble, I'm having problems focusing, and it's not just a problem of sitting down if you're new to the channel, it's a problem of I'm having these sort of pulses down the back of my spine, which make my hand go numb, and there's a weird muscle spasm and tingling sensation. It's really difficult to focus and say anything, so this is not going to be the best video I've ever made, especially not on a serious topic like this, but I feel like given the recent events in the gaming industry, I have to say something, and I owe it to you guys. I owe it to you to do something about the current situation here. And the current situation is that Stop Killing Games, the EU petition, is trying to get enough signatures to be put before the European Union. And essentially, the people that signed the petition are asking for some legislation to be passed regarding consumer protection when it comes to paying for and buying video games. Currently, the way things stand, a lot of bigger game developers, but this goes beyond just, Ubisoft and Bethesda. This has a much broader scope, but especially those, I think they're great examples, like to put a little thing in the, the consumers, sorry, not the consumers, oh god, there's the spine problem. Give me a second. Ugh. They like to put a little clause, I guess, in the user agreement. The thing that everyone skips over when you buy a video game and you're like, yeah, I agree, whatever, let me play the game. Yeah, that thing. For example, I believe it's either Ubisoft or Bethesda. At this point, I could look it up, but again, I have other things on my mind, and I believe you can forgive me. They like to put in that they could cancel your access to the game for any reason whatsoever, or for no reason. Meaning, for example, I bought Borderlands 2, and I'm having a wonderful time playing this game right now. Well, my access to Borderlands 2 can be revoked for no reason whatsoever. I could just lose access to the game, even though it's a single-player game, even though it doesn't really depend on any servers. I mean, it does have a multiplayer component, but you can play it single-player. Yeah, doesn't matter. I could lose access to it. Now, like I said, this isn't targeting exclusively online service games and etc., but you get the gist of the problem. And I think this is a problem in the gaming industry in general, and I've been talking about it for a while. Among many other problems I think the gaming industry has currently, outside of indie titles. It's not in a good place, I would say. And this is one man's small attempt to fix the situation, at least in one aspect of the industry. Now, the reason I'm making this video today is because, well, the petition has been up for quite a while, and it got around 500,000 signatures, and that was about it. At 500,000 signatures, it sort of stagnated. Now, allegedly, one of the main reasons that it stagnated was the coverage of a very famous YouTuber called Pirate Software, who criticized the living hell out of it and raised some very, very valid points. The only problem is they had nothing to do with the petition. They were straw man arguments. He was addressing things that aren't in the petition at all. He was arguing against things that the petition didn't call for, allegedly. Well, no, not allegedly. He did. He did, and he did not do fair coverage of it whatsoever, and he even went on to admit, more or less, in one of his live streams that that's what he did. He just doesn't care enough to admit that it's his fault, and the best we can do is, oh, well, it was so long ago, who cares? Not great. Honestly, not great. And I have a modicum of respect for the man, for his experience and for his knowledge about coding and his knowledge about the way video game development works and etc. But at the same time, the fact that he refuses to take any responsibility whatsoever about his actions and about the mistakes that he has made in that video is honestly a little bit disgusting in my modest opinion, but oh well. Not to focus on him, but like I said, one of the reasons that I have no data to confirm this, but people say that one of the reasons that the petition has failed is his coverage, because it has generated the most amount of views and impressions, and it has been negative, and so on and so forth. But recently, and by recently I mean literally in the past few days, there's been a revival of interest. Mainly started with with a video that the person that came up with the petition made, and finally addressed some of those problems like a few months later, or about 10 months I think later, which in my modest opinion is a mistake. I think that this should have been addressed a while ago, but he has his reasons for why he didn't want to cause drama and didn't want to, you know, wanted the petition to have a more serious tone to it than that avoids internet drama with other YouTube personalities and stuff, which I respect the hell out of, but at the same time I feel like if wrongful video coverage like that did cause such damage, probably should have been addressed earlier. At any rate, let's not get into it too much. I will leave a link down below. You can actually read the text of the petition itself. You can read what it's fighting for, what it's not trying to do, and you can decide for yourself whether you want to sign it or not. I highly recommend that you do, because I think this will be a big net positive on the gaming industry. Although I do have a bit of a maybe extremist view on this. I don't like live service games. I'm not a big fan of multiplayer games to begin with. So, how do I put this? Even if a lot of the stuff that Pirate Software said about the petition were true, which it isn't, I'd still be on the side of, overall, I think this isn't exactly the worst thing to try and push for. Yeah. It's, like I said, I'm a bit of an extremist when it comes to this, but this is not what the petition is trying to do. The petition is stop killing games, not let's kill live service games, because they're bad for the industry, which is, you know, what that video gives me the feeling that the petition is trying to do, even though it's not. And I have to address this before, you know, if I'm going to call you for anyone to sign for this petition, I do have to address some of the controversies around it. I think first it's the bare minimum of what I can do and what I should do. At least that's what I feel like. Anywho, that was the gist of it, and that was the main points of it. I don't want to get too in-depth as to the actual legal wording of what it's trying to do and how effective it might be. I'm going to leave that for you. I'm not a law expert. I am not a coding or development expert. I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to those things for legal purposes. I mean, I know some things, but not enough for a legal argument about whether this or that should be done or not. And certainly not to the point where I would feel comfortable giving anyone advice on whether they should word things one way or another. So I'm going to leave all the due diligence of research up to you. If you're going to sign the petition, I think you should absolutely, you know, do your own research before deciding whether you should sign it or not, at the very least. And don't do it just because I'm telling you to or someone else is telling you to. But the link to the petition is going to be down in the description below, and you can check it out for yourselves. It is, on the plus side, a fairly simple thing, and good God, what is up with these explosives? Alright, let's get out of the way for a quick second. And is a few more bits of valuable information about the petition itself that you may be interested in. So, the petition can be signed by EU members only, not the countries, but like people who live in countries or have residence in countries that are EU members. Countries in the Eurozone cannot sign it either, so if you're in Europe, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a few countries that are in the Eurozone, but are not in the European Union. You can't sign it. For example, if you're in the UK, you're no longer in the EU, you can't sign the petition. However, there are a few things you can do. I've talked to a number of people who have suddenly realized, hold on, I actually have a dual citizenship I wasn't really aware of up until now, and I'm like, how are you not aware of the fact that you have a dual citizenship? But maybe for a lot of people it isn't as important as it is for some of us. At any rate, if you have a dual citizenship and one of them is in the EU, you can sign the petition with, you know, the other citizenship. If you're not from the EU, you can still do things to help the petition. You can help spread awareness. You can go Twitter, you can share it with your friends. If you have acquaintances, family members in the EU, you can ask them to sign for you, or maybe that's not entirely fair or moral, but you can, you know, inform them about the petition, ask them what they think, and get them to sign it as well, etc., etc. You can help spread the word, or just spread a positive message about the petition itself. If you're willing to help, you can do some research about what the petition is trying to do, maybe address some of the controversies, or if people have some concerns about what this might do to certain games, how it might affect game development, you can answer those questions if you've done your research, and you can help in that way, etc., etc. So it is important that we do, especially, you know, people like me and people that can't sign a petition directly, it is important that we do at least something to try and help this cause and this entire situation that has arisen. Alright, that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I will leave the text of the petition and the actual link for signing it down below in the comments, so you can check it out for yourself, and that's about it. I have nothing else to say. My name is Juggernaut. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Borderlands 2 on a ridiculously high difficulty level with New Game Plus, I think, or something like that. It's the Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. Or is it True Vault Hunter mode? It's the harder one, anyway, which is why I seem to be dying all the time. Also, I'm not really focusing on the game all that much, but yeah. At any rate, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all in another video when, hopefully, I feel a little bit better and can produce coherent sentences and make at least a little bit higher quality commentary. But until then, check out the petition, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.